Saving ourselves from negative energy is one thing, and getting into situation is another thing, because life, how it's going to unroll on us, we don't know that. So we also must prepare ourselves for the adverse event. My friends, when we talk about resiliency, the first thing that comes to our mind is having something really crazy happen, a catastrophe happening, something that we weren't expecting. We were working towards some goal and all of a sudden something happened, right? But just like any other thing, resiliency is also is composed of small components, just like small habits, our daily routines. We know it with different names, calling consistency, being consistent, right? Getting up every morning and doing our things, having discipline, and then several other names. But it is the micro details, it is the small details where resiliency applies in our everyday life, not just something happening in our life all of a sudden, but also in our daily routines, how we approach our goal, how we get to the task, how we become more productive, right? I want to get somewhere, right? I want to have this nice position, but on my daily routine, today I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to show up to work tomorrow and I'm going to be extremely productive. And then on my way to work, something else happens, right? I hear some bad news, or I have a conversation with someone, a negative conversation, or I wasn't trying to hear that, or I get to work and then encounter someone and all of a sudden my mood goes down, right? So what we do, the entire concept of the productive day is gone, right, out the window. So what I do at that point, right? Overall, I might still be working towards my goal, right? But for that particular day, for that particular time, right, all of a sudden, everything is out of the window, and I cannot perform. So what do I do at that point, right? That's where resiliency applies, right? So we become resilient at every single part, our routine, our daily activities, how we get to them, right? The promises that we make to ourselves, and then also prepare ourselves when something negative happens, right? How we encounter that. So resiliency does not just apply in an overall perspective, like something really bad happening in our life. It also applies on our daily routine, how we keep our promises to ourselves, right? Like, I heard a motivator talking and I got really motivated, or I watched a movie, and all of a sudden I'm so motivated about getting up and doing this thing, and then in the morning something happens, right? Like, all of a sudden a friend calls, or it's raining outside or it's snowing outside, and then someone calls like, I don't feel like going to work and I don't feel like doing anything, and then all of a sudden this mood shifts, right? That motivation from the last night is gone. So where do we look for that, right? Where do we look for that? Either we have to have such motivation on our inside, which is like we drive ourselves, or if you're getting motivation from outside, we need to listen to it more and more. We need to read about it more and more. We need to encounter that more and more so we can stay in the cycle. So resiliency, coming down again, like resiliency applies in our daily routines. If I made a promise to myself that Monday I'm going to be very productive at work, then I need to have something with me just in case an adverse happens, because in life, things are gonna happen. When we are thinking about something, everything seems fine, there's spring in our head, like everything's going smoothly, but life works differently because everyone is doing their things, and we end up in a situation which we weren't expecting before. So now all of a sudden, if we find ourselves in that situation while we're moving towards the goal, but it's not matching our daily routines, then we need to have something to fix those daily routines. We need to come up with some sort of a box, some sort of a thing for us. Like, if I'm really down, right, at work, so now where do I find my motivation? I like reading things. Maybe I can pull up something on my phone and read about it. Maybe I like listening to the song and it calms me down. Maybe calling a friend, maybe reading a joke, something to get my energy back. saving ourselves from negative energy is one thing, and getting into situation is another thing, because life, how it's going to unroll on us, we don't know that. So we also must prepare ourselves for the adverse event. Not only in case something major happens, like I said, it happens on our daily life, and that's where the success lies, in on micro details, the small details of our everyday routine. Staying consistent. Sometimes we have to disconnect ourselves. Like, for example, someone took my energy, right? I went to work, or like I went somewhere else and I had this big idea and the person bashed me there, or like I'm going to this crowd and speak in front of all these people, and all of a sudden I feel like overwhelmed. Like, what do? I need to have a code for that. Like, a lot of time getting disconnecting from the situation helps as well. We must disconnect, give ourselves that few moments, that time, that helps us recover and keeps us focused, and remind ourselves the promises that we made, not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, on a daily basis. So we have to start from there. We have to pick up that one string. We have to start from one corner, and once we get in there, we find the solution. How are we going to do that? So the baby steps, being resilient on a daily level, having something to support us emotional, not only just saving ourselves from negative surroundings and things like that, but also in case things happen, how do we recover from it? Because the small things add up brick by brick, and then eventually, you have a big tall building. So resiliency applies in our daily routine. How we do it, I did it like that. It took me a long time, but but I had to go through the whole process, like of slowly, and then years later I realized that how was a changed person, or maybe much more normal than I was actually going through those depression phase. So whatever we are going through, let's just not think about the overall perspective, or just think about something is going to happen in the future. It applies to everyone, whether things have happened in our lives, whether things have not happened in our lives. It happens on our daily level. Whenever we promise something to ourselves, whenever we decide to do something, whenever we want to achieve a goal, whenever we want to get somewhere, we must realize that $1 breakdowns into 100 cents, right? So it's the same thing. A big tall building breaks down to small bricks. That's how exactly it is. So discipline is consistency, it's resiliency. We must keep on looking for that motivation, and these things are so important. Like, what are we watching? Who are we listening to? So what I did, I basically cut down all the negative people who were posting negative comments. I kept them, just kind of like removed them. All the channels where all this, where you see all this aggression, I slowly kind of removed them from my Facebook accounts, from YouTube account, from TV channels. And anytime I want to watch, I basically watch what I want to watch, which basically if I want to watch a documentary, if I want to watch something positive, if I want to listen to a speaker, if I want to hear about some article, something about the book, which has helped me a lot, because the lesser negativity I will receive, the less I have to encounter, the less I have to spend my energy. I can save my energy and use it for something different. And a lot of times that's why we are not able to do things, because we are thinking in a bigger level, we want to do something, but what's really happening, that we are not paying attention to the small details, which I'm saying the resiliency on our daily level. Like, it's not just one event, it happens to everyone, and it happens to our daily routine, our activities. So stay focused, my friends. Start with the baby steps. Let's be resilient on our daily routines. I'm still going through, my struggle is still there. I'm still going forward and looking for more and more dimensions, and trying to expand myself, learn more. And I don't know where the journey is going to end, but we all are in this together. So do not lose hope. Let's stick to the goals. Let's be resilient in our daily routines, and let's get to that major goal that we are trying to get to, because it relies in our daily routines again. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.